The story of the Colosseum begins not with a triumph, but with the fall of a tyrant, Emperor Nero's extravagant Domus Aurea. His golden house sprawled across the heart of Rome. At its center lay an enormous, man-made lake, a private luxury in a crowded city. Following Nero's suicide in 68 AD, Rome was plunged into the chaotic year of the four emperors. From this turmoil, the pragmatic general Vespasian emerged as the new emperor. Vespasian, founder of the Flavian dynasty, sought to restore stability and win public favor. He made a brilliant political move. He would drain Nero's private lake and build a public amphitheater on its grounds. This act symbolized returning land to the people that a tyrant had stolen for his own pleasure. Construction on the Flavian amphitheater, as it was first known, began around 72 AD. The project was funded by the immense treasures looted from Jerusalem after the First Jewish-Roman War. An estimated 100,000 prisoners of war were brought to Rome as a labor force. The structure was a marvel of Roman engineering, a freestanding edifice of travertine, tough, and brick-faced concrete. Unlike earlier Greek theaters built into hillsides, the Colosseum rose majestically from the valley floor. Its elliptical shape was designed to provide excellent views from every seat. The outer facade stood 4 stories tall, a breathtaking wall of arches and columns. Each of the first 3 stories featured a different architectural order: Doric, Ionic, and then Corinthian. Vespasian died in 79 AD, never seeing his grand project fully completed. His son, Titus, completed the construction and inaugurated the amphitheater in 80 AD. The inaugural games were the most spectacular Rome had ever witnessed, lasting for 100 days. Historians claim that over 9,000 wild animals were slaughtered during this opening spectacle. The Colosseum could hold an estimated 50 to 80,000 spectators. Seating was strictly stratified according to social class. The emperor and Vestal virgins had the best boxes, located on the north and south ends. Senators sat on marble benches in the front tiers, closest to the action. Above them sat the equestrians, the noble class of Rome. Ordinary Roman citizens, the plebeians, filled the tiers above the equestrians. The highest level, a wooden gallery, was reserved for the poor, slaves and women. The arena floor itself was a wooden surface covered in sand. Its purpose was to absorb the blood that was inevitably spilled. Beneath the arena lay the Hypogeum, a secret underground world. This 2-level subterranean network of tunnels and cages was added by Emperor Domitian, Titus's younger brother. Here, gladiators and condemned prisoners awaited their turn in the arena. Cages held ferocious wild animals, imported from the vast corners of the Roman Empire. Lions from Mesopotamia, leopards from North Africa, and bears from Caledonia were all present. The Hypogeum featured a complex system of elevators and trapdoors. These allowed for dramatic entrances of men, beasts, and scenery into the arena. A gladiator could be fighting one moment, and suddenly find himself surrounded by a pack of wolves the next. Scenery, such as trees and rocks, could be hoisted up to create instant forests for hunting scenes. Main events were the gladiatorial combats, known as munera. Gladiators were typically slaves, prisoners of war, or condemned criminals. Some, however, were free men who volunteered, seeking fame and fortune. They were trained in special schools called ludi. There were many different types of gladiators, each with specialized armor and weapons. The retiarius fought with a net and trident, resembling a fisherman. The secutor, or chaser, was heavily armed and designed to fight the retiarius. Murmillo had a large shield and a helmet with a fish-shaped crest. Fights were not always to the death, as trained gladiators were a valuable investment. A defeated gladiator could appeal to the crowd for mercy. The editor of the games, often the emperor himself, would make the final decision based on the crowd's reaction. Successful gladiators could become superstars, adored by the public. Their images appeared in graffiti, mosaics, and sculptures. Some were able to win their freedom and retire wealthy. Another popular event was the Venatio, or wild beast hunt. These hunts showcased the diversity and reach of the Roman Empire. Entire landscapes were recreated on the arena floor for these events. The morning of the games was often reserved for these hunts. The midday period was reserved for public executions. This was the damnatio ad bestias, condemnation to the beasts. It was a brutal warning against crime and rebellion. The Colosseum also hosted reenactments of famous battles. For a brief period, it even staged nomachii, or mock sea battles. The arena would be waterproofed and filled with water from a nearby aqueduct. These spectacles were incredibly complex and expensive to produce. The practice was soon abandoned, likely due to the logistical complexity and the construction of the Hypogeum. The Colosseum was a symbol of Roman power and ingenuity. It was also a tool for social and political control. The games kept the populace entertained and distracted from other issues. A massive, retractable awning called the velarium could be stretched over the top. This canvas roof shaded spectators from the harsh Roman sun. It was operated by a special detachment of sailors from the Roman Navy. The Colosseum had 80 entrances, allowing for rapid entry and exit. This system of vomitoria could empty the entire stadium in minutes. Building even contained drinking fountains and latrines. The games began to decline with the rise of Christianity. Christian emperors found the pagan spectacles distasteful and cruel. The cost of maintaining the building and staging the games also became prohibitive. The last gladiatorial combat was recorded in 438 AD. The final wild beast hunts occurred around 523 AD. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Colosseum fell into disuse. It suffered damage from several major earthquakes. The Great Earthquake of 1349 caused the entire south outer wall to collapse. For centuries, the ruins were used as a quarry for building materials. Stone from the Colosseum was used in the construction of St. Peter's Basilica and other Roman landmarks. In the Middle Ages, a small chapel was built into the structure. The vaulted spaces under the seating were rented out as housing and workshops. The powerful Frangipani family fortified it and used it as a private castle. By the 18th century, the church began to see the Colosseum as a site of Christian martyrdom. Pope Benedict XIV consecrated the building in 1749 and forbade its use as a quarry. This act helped to preserve the monument from further destruction. Serious restoration efforts began in the 19th and 20th centuries. The Hypogeum was finally fully excavated in the late 19th century. Today, the Colosseum is an iconic symbol of Rome and its imperial past. It is one of the world's most popular tourist attractions. Its silhouette against the Roman sky is a constant reminder of the empire's dual nature. It represents both magnificent creation and brutal entertainment. The arena stands as a testament to the incredible skill of Roman builders. It also serves as a somber memorial to the thousands of lives lost within its walls. The roar of the crowd has been silent for over 1,500 years. Yet, the echoes of the past still resonate within its crumbling stones. The Colosseum was a microcosm of Roman society itself. It reflected its grandeur, its cruelty, its ingenuity, and its power. Spectacles were carefully choreographed pieces of political theater. The emperor's generosity in providing the games was always on full display. The sheer scale of the logistics was staggering. Transporting a rhinoceros from Africa to Rome was a monumental undertaking. The empire's vast network of roads and shipping lanes made it possible. The games served to reinforce the Roman worldview. Man versus beast, civilization versus barbarism, order versus chaos. Even the executions were a form of storytelling. Criminals might be dressed as characters from myths who met a gruesome end. This blended entertainment with state-sanctioned punishment. The Colosseum was not just a venue. It was an instrument of governance. The building's design incorporated advanced principles of crowd control. Numbered arches corresponded to tickets, ensuring orderly seating. The structure was so robust that it has partially survived for 2 millennia. Its influence on stadium design can be seen to this day. The concept of the vomitorium is still used in modern arenas. The Colosseum has been a painter's muse for centuries. It was a key destination for those on the grand tour. Poets like Byron wrote about its haunting grandeur. The Flavian amphitheater was a gift to the Roman people. It replaced the private indulgence of a hated emperor with public spectacle. The games were a distraction, but also a shared cultural experience. For a citizen of Rome, a day at the Colosseum was an unforgettable event. The smell of sweat, blood, and exotic animals filled the air. The sound was a deafening roar of tens of thousands of voices. The sight was a whirlwind of color, motion, and violence. The memory of the arena's horrors faded over time. It became a romantic ruin, overgrown with plants. Botanists once cataloged hundreds of different plant species growing within its walls. This unique ecosystem was a result of centuries of neglect. Modern restoration has cleared away this vegetation to preserve the stone. The secret of its longevity lies in the quality of Roman concrete. This material was incredibly strong and durable, allowing the structure to endure. The iron clamps that held blocks together were plundered in the Middle Ages. The pockmarks visible all over the structure today are a result of this looting. The Colosseum remains a powerful, albeit complex, legacy. It is a monument to both the heights of human achievement and the depths of human cruelty.